This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, passing on these roads, we see the amazing topography and geology of this region. So I want to speak out a very important principle about the Jewish understanding of geology in general. You know, if you study the science of the area of the Arctic Ocean, be it Alaska, be it Canada, be it northern Siberia, clearly the climate that exists today is different than the climate that once was. Because if you look in the permafrost, they found horses, rhinoceroses, oxen, mammoths, tigers, bison, beavers, and lions. And these are creatures that cannot exist in these climates today. So the question is, how did they get there? A question that the Malbim deals with is many fossils are found in the deepest layers of the soil that indicate that the age of the universe is older than our tradition of 5,783 years. So the Malbim speaks at length, and by the way, the Sforno also talks about there were traumatic changes at the time of the Malbim, at the time of the Great Flood, where Vayimach es kol hayukum. The Malbim explains first the human bones decompose. The human bones are the most fragile of all living creatures. But then even the bones of massive creatures, because of the great earthquakes that opened up the Tohaim Rabbah, the fossils and the bones of animals went extremely deep down into the soil bed. So what archaeologists may say indicate that the age of the universe is many hundreds of times older than what we maintain. Our tradition is clear. There were traumatic changes at the time of the Mabul, and that accounts for the animals that are found in the depths of the fossil record. But the Malbim and the Sforno teach us something really incredible. You know, today in Alaska, it's a pretty warm day. My understanding is it's from the warmest it gets in this area of the world. But for the most part, it's an extremely cold climate. There's permafrost. That's why you have so many mosquitoes. You have the tundra area. But clearly from the fossil record, the climate here in Alaska used to be much more mild. So when exactly what was that? The Pasuk says after the Mabul, the Rebbeinu Shalom promises, Noach, Oid kol yemei ha'aretz, Zera, v'katzir, v'kar, v'chayim, v'kayetz, v'chayra, v'yom, v'layla, lo yishboisu. There will always be day and night, there will always be summer, winter, spring, and fall. That implies that before the Mabul, there weren't seasons. There wasn't summer and winter, spring and autumn. So, thank you. So, the Malbim explains that right now, in the current state of the world, the Earth is tilted on an angle of 23.5 degrees. That tilt of the Earth makes it that the sun does not shine on all areas of the Earth equally. In some areas, there are extreme seasons. There's extreme cold. There's extreme heat. By the equator, it's more of an even temperature throughout the year. Says the Malbim, and the Sforno says the same. Before the flood, before the Mabul, the earth was on a mashve hashave, was on a perfect line. There was no tilt. So if there's no tilt, the sun hits every area exactly the same. All areas of the world enjoyed San Diego weather throughout the entire year. But because of the Mabul, so Hashem... Now, if you live in San Diego, if you have pleasant weather, then you're healthier, you live longer, the Malbim says. There's less illness. Says the Malbim, before the Mabul, people lived unusually long lifetimes because they didn't have to deal with the extremities of the seasons, of the winds, of the cold, of the heat, and everything that difficult and challenging weather brings. Now that there is a Mabul, the earth was tilted on a 23.5 degree tilt. Now you have extreme weather. The lifespan of man is diminished, and now we have 4 seasons. Beyond that, before the Mabul, you didn't really have day and night. There was a lot of sunshine, and people didn't have to work as much. And the Malbim says that after the Mabul, Hashem gave man more work to do and more time to work in order to distract man from their desires and their taivos. But the bottom line is, says the Malbim, that once the Earth was tilted on 23.5 degree tilt, so now there's extreme weather. But Alaska, you should have seen what Alaska was like before the Mabul. It was like San Diego. So you had lions and tigers, yes, and bears, and all the animals that are found in the permafrost all used to live here in the 49th state, which, by the way, at the time, before the Great Flood, it was not the 49th state. But at that time, you had all the animals that are found in the fossil record today. This is our true Messiah, based on the pasuk Oy kol yimei ha'aretz zera v'katz v'chak v'kar v'chayim v'kayitz v'chayim v'yam v'layla lo yishvaisu. Says the Hiliga Malbim, Ve'edus Hashem ne'emana machkimas pesi v'hashiv davar l'chachmei hageologia. The true testimony of the Torah that makes the foolish wise. This is our response to the discipline of geology, who dig into the depths of the earth and find all of these animals in the fossil record. So it would have been nice to come to Alaska before the Mabul, but it is pretty nice to come after the Mabul because it gives more variety to the area. Okay, thank you.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.